we kind of work here.
The collar on the roses or red Letterman jackets, sort of talk of the brush.
Yeah. So what? Okay. So as we go into the 77th session.
Yeah.
Campaign. We rejoin the Roses as they go back to where it all began. Stepping into the Gation Shields office in Kyla. After having been gone for now over a year since the last time you saw this place.
Wow.
Accepting the Hullabaloo contract. Inside, you see a dwarven woman sitting behind the reception desk. Two thick braids falling on either side of her hair, either side of her head. Dark brown, almost black. Very neatly done. And she looks up and asks, how can I help you? Is there a contract you wish to request services of the Gation Shields for? And you get the impression that she is asking if you want them to do something for you. You guys are coming in with all of your opulence and wealth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You are not the standard street folk that come in looking for work.
Is there anybody else sort of hanging around the offices?
No, looks quiet.
Well, guess we're just gonna have to get this party started. Uhtred, would you like to relieve yourself of those casks of ale that you're carrying over here by this side table?
Yeah, there you go. Sit down.
Are we boozing in the office?
They were boozing in the office.
Okay, maybe we should ask if that's okay.
Talk to her while we're gonna get set up over here.
Okay.
You talk to the dwarf.
I don't know what's going on.
I approach this woman. Do I recognize her? Do you? Is she the same? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember her name?
Lord, no. My tower.
I did my best.
Yeah, this is
this
is very wrong.
My tower.
I wanted you to eat.
No.
Sorry for taking care of you.
What's her name? Ilinet?
You're wasting away.
I don't need anybody but you myself.
So
What was that, Richard?
I said, isn't it Ilinet?
Gillignit was who we. I'm not gonna pretend to remember her name, but I did roll a 41 diplomacy. As I say,
If you'll excuse me, I don't seem to remember your name, but I certainly remember your face. We are the band of adventurers known as the Roses Are Red,
and we're here solely on a mission of nostalgia. You gave us our first contract after we were caught brawling and trying to stop some crime at the fountain in the middle of town. And it's been a while since we've been back, and we thought it would be kind of fun to just check in. If that's not appropriate, let us know. But it is lovely to see you again, and thanks for hopefully any hospitality. Can we offer you some ale? She scans the group of you, and there's an amount of recognition for Mirok and Uhtred. She has a little bit more trouble with the two of you, and obviously she doesn't recognize you. She says, "The Roses Are Red. Quite the success story for our organization. Though I thought you had left the Gation Shield Services, as you haven't picked up any contracts for some time, or so I've heard." A legitimate assumption, and most likely true, unless you do have some sort of something that's been sitting on the back burner that no one else can handle that you might be interested in giving to a crack team. But mainly, like I said, it's just nostalgia, just checking in. At the moment, most of our efforts are concerted in a single area. There's an interest in exploring depths of Dunmar.
God damn it. I hear that.
That is that's currently where Linus and several of the other members of the guild are stationed at a camp at the top of the crevasse.
The 15 perception, do I get that? Okay,
Yeah.
I insert myself.
Oh, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, the Uhtred and Bort haven't got the band set up yet, so.
Yeah, we're
still relatively
ushering
quiet.
in the philologist, the hurdy-gurdy man that we met on the way over.
So she said they're just exploring the ruins of Dunmar, which is typically, like, that's it. So, I don't know, Merrick would ask, like, what are you looking for there? Is there something going on there? And then, you know, leveling with her, like, we were also heading that direction. Similarly, someone on a mission of nostalgia.
Well, it's mostly a matter of potentiality. There's been sightings of strange beasts exiting the hole, and some exploratory interest from different sects. A few nobles who've been interested in financing an exploratory mission. Linus has taken it upon himself to head up the efforts there under the Gation Shields banner himself.
Do I know this Linus? Is that a familiar name to me?
Roll intelligence.
Who's the guy?
Ooh, nice. Roll 19 on the die. You said
Is he the drone?
intelligence modifier? 22?
22.
Yeah, 22.
He is the guild leader.
So he leads this chapter, or like
He leads the Gation Shields entirely.
does he own the Gation Shields? How does that work? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a confederation of sorts, but he is something of a primary shareholder or de facto in charge person. He started it. He's been in charge, and his
Like
name's
a
on the
COO.
paperwork.
So he's a dwarf. He's a pretty.
No, he's a human.
He's a human. Okay, I thought I remember.
Gation Shields is new.
Okay, I thought I remember hearing about an evil campaign, but I guess I was wrong.
No, that was the Ariston Security and Protection Guild. They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, those fuckers. Okay.
They were
I-
fine. We weren't.
Yeah, from our perspective as evil people, they were fuckers.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to take this contract. I think it's a no-brainer to take this contract. Yeah, Murak and Margot.
Yeah, 100%.
Accept the contract. Sorry about that.
That's what happens when you accept a contract. That's the sound it plays.
You've done it.
Well, my hurdy-gurdy man that we hired for 5 copper.
He's in the
he
background.
just struck up his
Can you just snooze that, please?
local IRA.
Well, at the moment, there's not so much a contract as a directive. If you wish to,
We should go find line.
you should go to Dunmar
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that.
and speak with Linus. And we don't know exactly what we're dealing with over there. So he's gone to set up a forward effort and discern what's to be done. I think he's trying to get the contract for one of these expeditions from one of the noble financiers.
Mhm.
But everything is still, I think there's some issues with with getting started as well. Like I said, there have been monster sightings. I think there's something that's holding things up down that way.
Yeah. Murak quietly thinks to himself, giant centipedes.
There's grave danger.
Yeah. Open a big old hole.
Shit's going down.
Okay, yeah, cool. I thank her for her time. And I go over and cast Create Water on Uhtred's casts and do us to one and do all that stuff. And invite the freshmen over.
Those of you who are more perceptive than otherwise might notice that Helen, the dwarf, is
Okay.
So like whatever the fuck is.
like these people that work for us that haven't showed up for work for half a year just showed up and are setting up a party in the front lobby.
Contractors. Yeah, we're giving them the ale that makes their adventurers smarter and better.
But there's no adventures in here, right? So we're just getting it started.
There's no one in here at all.
No.
It's just us. We're just getting it started.
It's just you.
All right, yeah.
Everyone said that. She just told us that everyone's kind of done more.
Oh, yeah, everyone's in there.
Yeah, so we're just kind of drinking alone here.
Except for the level 1 bard that I quite co ale and coppers to come and turn his thing once.
Yeah, okay.
Why am I here? No
I offer her a drink, but I assume after a while we just kind of.
Yeah.
After a while.
Hand her down.
For us it's a short stint. Or maybe
Couple hours.
not.
Yeah, when you leave, she's like, "Good luck."
Have fun exploring the castle.
But then gives you uncannily clear directions on how to get from here to there. What roads to take.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's
She
great.
gets a little tight, a little bit in her cuffs, huh?
Yeah.
It worked.
Well, it's that cheers to wine booze.
You fucked up.
She just got a +10 on her knowledge geography check.
Nice,
There we go.
Nice.
Ooh, can I take advantage of that and ask her a quick question? I guess local counts on that too, right?
Yeah.
Pardon me, miss. Where is the nearest gambling house? Out of general curiosity.
No, she got
We all gotta have this.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Largo's
Yanni's turned into a little bit of a gambler, Largo. That's why we didn't know.
I have done no such thing. I'm just talking to a friend, a new friend.
Nearest one to here would probably be you could get a good game of cards at Hebert's Hideaway.
Hebert's Hideaway. There's
some tables of different dice games and what have you at the Mead and Greed, as well as the King of Cups. But King of Cups is in the Halfling district. Mead and Greed is not too close to here. But given what I've heard about your group, you might be more interested in going to Jockton's Inn or the Lucky Wyvern. They can probably manage games more in your price range.
Your only card.
Thank you.
Some spades.
penny slots.
Board's all about the penny. Like an old woman.
Walking around with a little wooden pail full of copper.
Like a Hobbit split 120, just with an ash this long on it.
In a holder.
Uh-huh. Are we
For
gambling?
the return trip, mayhaps.
Return trip,
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
alright. We were talking, we should just put all of our money that we got from the account on red and just fucking roll
I am down.
it.
Let the monk roll.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
That Largo's like, that's a crazy thing to do, but we're all relatively stable. Let's just.
Well, I think on meta levels, because none of us as players know what we want for our characters.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that on the return trip. Let's think about it.
Maybe something will come up.
Yeah, something that would actually be fun.
You think you guys are gonna make it back?
Yeah.
Let's head to Lucestead. It's a nice 12 days.
Lucestead, right? Because it's on the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Largo's.
The place where Largo was dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a house today to replace a blower motor, and there was a very nice Tiguan, like a very nice, like fucking VW. It just all had like a municipal waste, huge municipal waste sticker, a huge decapitation sticker,
Yeah.
and then like some other van that I didn't recognize, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, Tiguan, very nice, very nice. Went in there and he had like obviously like 2 little kids. He's just trying to relive them glory days.
Saw it.
Okay, so you guys are heading to Lucestead.
Ustedes.
Ustedes.
Both folk.
Please, no sir.
Hey, Largo, is there anything we need to know about this town that would keep us out of jail or trouble?
It's Lucestead, Harath, Miltaprick, and Drenethburg.
Can I roll a knowledge local? I don't have it trained.
I mean, it's just an intelligence check.
I rolled I got an 8. And I say, I didn't really spend a lot of time there. It's more about like, the hill gnome culture. So I couldn't really tell you much, but
You had short visits there
Yes.
over time, and you didn't like it, and now you realize that it was a sort of a culture clash from living in your small village and being regarded as some sort of great power, and then there you just weren't at all, and your previous self just thought that was a horrible injustice. No one really understood what they should have been seeing you as, and it was just incredibly insulting. So you very much didn't like it there. It was loud and smelly, and the people were exceedingly rude.
yeah. I explain that and say it might be different now. I'm a different gnome.
I'm loud and smelly and exceedingly rude.
You will find many, many small people to smoke weed with.
All right.
Or only smokes weed with small people because they don't toke the bowls.
Exactly.
No Bogart.
Hey, dude, what's the holdup? Pass that piece.
Then I recently Bogart. Humphrey Bogart. That's what
Yeah.
I think of. Seems kind of fucked up.
Would he sit on the pipe?
He was famous for always having a cigarette in his mouth in this
Oh.
movie. So it was don't Bogart the joint because he always had the joint like Humphrey Bogart.
So yeah.
On the road, I'd like everyone to give me perception checks.
Let's see.
Just one or multiple, Dan?
Just one from each of you.
Oh, okay.
21 from Largo. Pretty fucking cool.
23. I rolled a 2.
I rolled an 18.
25 for Bort.
It's a nice cool 9.
Unless
for
there's
Mira.
traps.
I'm a 23 as well.
That is a lot.
23? Okay. And what would you get?
9.
9.
Yeah.
All right.
Appropriate enough for my character.
So as you guys are heading down the highway,
Life is a highway. I don't remember that. Too soon.
Love Rascal
Yeah,
Flats.
it's your favorite.
Not a Rascal Flats.
But they covered it.
Yeah, and they covered
That's why that was what made the joke funny.
everyone except for Mirok, unsurprisingly, notices that there is a person hiding off on the side of the road up ahead keeping an eye on your approach.
Is it a crone?
Looks like a half elf.
Oh, not a crone.
Crowed.
It's like a half elf, huh? I might do something here.
You want to do something?
Actually, I think all of you are probably riding on mounts, aren't you?
Did you make meat mounts?
I would
Sure.
assume so.
Yeah, I always do that.
I guess I wouldn't be.
The Mountain Express.
You're faster off, but yeah.
I don't need a horse to slow me down.
We all see this crone.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Crone?
It's not a crone.
It's a Boris just it's a crone. I am going to. No, I'm not gonna fucking do anything. I was thinking like, what cool things can I do? And I can't do all that cool. I don't know. We'll just see if this person is like chill about
cool mounts?
Dan, could I do a sense motive?
Let's hail the crone.
You can try. You're at a decent range. They're not extremely.
Yeah, I suppose it would make more sense to do it as I got closer.
You could try it. Yeah.
All right. What the hey?
Doesn't hurt to try.
Here we go. Nat 20 time. I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. You think he might have lost his keys?
Okay.
Ooh, I cast Haunted Fey Aspect. So I just look like a purple, scary, like.
You're casting stuff. You're
No, I'm
getting creepy.
not. I'm not gonna do that. That was old Largo. This is new Largo. I'm just like nobly riding in my white linens.
Okay. We're approaching. We're moving forward down the road. This is they're attempting to hide, or they're just fairly conspicuous.
Well met.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's somebody out like in the bushes behind a tree-ish kind of thing, kind of looking like this, keeping an eye on you. What?
Uhtred would yell.
Yeah. Great person, Uhtred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Greet him. What would you say to him?
We see you.
How's it going?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
We see you. You're not hiding well.
What are you hiding down there? What do you think? You?
So you say that, and a few others come from better hiding spots.
Okay. All right.
Oh Lord, we're gonna have to kill people.
Maybe not.
I'll just tell them.
I mean, yeah, I think if they're highwaymen, they're not going to be strong.
I mean, time will tell. I guess there's a whole gang of them.
And they come out, and the bigger, more muscular fella carrying a shield says, "Well met, travelers. We're just here to collect a toll."
Nah. no,
You
you're
be
not.
paying no toll.
Let's hear the number.
Let's hear the
first.
number of the toll. If it's like a copper, I don't want to kill him.
We have.
It's the
5,000
principle.
Okay. We've been here before. We've been.
Walk this path in a different life.
Mirak.
I say, what is the toll?
Well, let's see. For 5 of you, 4 horses and a dog. Let's call it an even 50 gold, shall we?
We shall not.
Acceptable. Yeah.
What if we maybe had a wager, a friendly wager between
Gambling thing.
Travelers.
We're powwowing right now. Like Mirak's like, give me a moment to talk this out. I'm like, okay, and we're powwowing. We're having a little huddle.
I'm okay to powwow if they're okay with us powwow.
I mean, they don't get to decide shit. These are some jabronis that are trying to.
I'm not asking for. I'm saying like
Under
I'm saying
whose
like
name
on
are you
a like
collecting
game
apples?
level is that what we're doing right now? We're not sitting on a horse's back. Should we kill them? That's not happening.
It's gotten us in trouble before, assuming that we were just
All right.
having an accord.
Okay. So he says that.
Mhm.
What is your reaction to that?
I say, I believe we have it, but it might be split among many purses. Give us a moment, and then I start to like pull us together. I'm happy to roll a bluff check for that.
Okay. A couple of you do see that the archers kind of hidden off the side of the road, have their bows drawn and they're taking aim as you guys sort of do a huddle. Let's said Bort and Yanni give me perception checks.
25.
this is gonna take a sec. 39.
Okay. So Yanni, you see that this one, as you guys start to huddle and have a conversation, that one kind of pulls in to this guy and is, kind of whispering in his ear, and he's got somewhat of a concerned look on his face. You're and with your sense motive, you're getting the impression like this guy's like, you're probably thinking the conversation there is, hey boss, I don't know if these are the guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to do this with these guys.
So quickly here, Mirak's perspective is these are bad guys. They're going to do this to poor people.
Yeah.
They don't have the conditions. So I'm in that case in favor of combat.
Well, just
But-
because they're slightly bad guys, should we murder the shit out of them, or should Largo
Yeah.
scare them straight with a
Yeah.
giant illusion?
That is a good call.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so like we tell them like fuck off and they'll come back around here.
Or maybe you let Uhtred talk to the first one and then scare him.
I think that also would have a similar effect.
Uhtred, funny thing, when you talk to people, they typically lose their heads somewhere in the conversation.
That's what talk means, yeah.
One great place.
Yeah, Yanni, you actually weren't here. There was a similar situation with Highwaymen where Uhtred just walked across a bridge and shot the dude in half. It was pretty fucking intense.
I mean,
There's your toll.
But yeah, but then he got up and then killed that guy. It's like a Terminator.
I can talk to them if you want.
I'm pro Largo illusioning and talking.
What are you gonna say on Largo?
I have something.
Okay.
I fish around and I give you 50 gold pieces. I like pantomime putting it in your little pouch.
Yeah.
And I patch on the back.
I don't have a very good intimidate check because I don't have any training in it. I'm not trained in it,
Mhm.
but it is still a +10. And I'm going to do something. So we'll just see if it works. And if it doesn't, Uhtred can set him straight. But I would like to approach if I may.
Okay.
So I kind of come to the front of the group on my horse. As I do, I'm casting Detect Magic. So my eyes turn blue.
Mm-hmm.
Do I detect any magical items on it?
Do your eyes turn blue, or do they turn more like a violet?
I'm down with violet. I think that's kind of fun.
You cast Tech Magic, your eyes start glowing blue. And you see like several of them start to shuffle.
Mhm.
And they're like maybe take a step or a half step back.
Yeah.
But scanning them, the one guy in the front, the guy with the shield, looks like he's got a faint magic aura coming from a pouch on his belt.
Yeah. I cast Hallucinatory Terrain centered on that dude.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I want them to see, it'll be that's a 4th level, so it will be a 25 will save. And I want everything to just kind of dim. You know, like you know,
Lights come down to the shelf.
like do you take me for control? You know,
Ah.
and I say, not a single one of you, nor all of you together, are powerful enough to best us in combat. Move aside.
Okay.
And I roll an intimidate check as I say it.
Yeah. Take his pouch.
Ooh,
Nice.
40.
Nice.
40 intimidate check.
Natural 20?
That's a tower.
And I add to that, well, can I kind of retro add to something? And I say, and if we ever see you on this road again, you will pay our toll. And it is more than 50 gold.
The iron price.
Well, at that, the ones out in the road start to like part and go back into the, you know, to the sides of the road or into the woods.
It's a 30-foot radius. I'm not sure that it hits them, but mainly I was looking to get that main dude.
30-foot radius will hit
It'll
it.
hit it. Okay.
And then you hear a, you know, sort of like, and as his arrow is loosed. in-
Probably
in
accidentally.
the spear.
That's fine. I'm not going to react to that even. if it
How
hits
we
me.
see?
Okay. Natural 1.
Okay. Cool.
Fuck.
I would have just cast hideous laughter on him and just left it.
Oh no, I just thought it would have been hilarious if you did that. And it's just like,
You fucker.
Largo has like a
Just an arrow.
7 points of damage in this.
Oh.
But yes, you cow them quite effectively, and they pull off to the side of the road, and the archers disappear into the woods on either side. And the leader is like, no charge today, but please, sorry, never mind.
And I feel like, can I like beckon to like let's go, let's start rolling through these dudes, right? Can we start rolling through them? And as I pass, I go, do not bother people on this road again. Do you understand? I can see you no matter where you are now that I have seen your face.
They all look, you know, significantly mortified.
Cool. We're moving through.
I would like to make eye contact with the one that was talking to the other guy. When I was like, who knew who we were, and you know, I used my hat of disguise to assume the form of a werebear while making eye contact and blowing a kiss to the person that like got the boss's attention, like the lieutenant.
Yeah, the one you make eye contact with seems to be like mostly frozen. This guy just like hauls ass onto it.
Of course. I think that was an appropriate response. I don't think it was mean. I don't think it was evil. I think it was just like, these guys are fucking up to no good. We're gonna scare them.
We could murder a group of people in cold blood.
Yeah. Or just tell them to go away.
Still a change pouch. Like Hocus Pocus. They take the guy's shoes. It's like you bully him, and then you bully him just like a little bit.
Largo's not into that. But if you, I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's
Largo
what
is feel
All right, everybody, strip.
No, you're paying us now.
Your clothes.
Do you see how it feels? You've learned your lesson.
It's your clothes or your toes. We'll take
Their ones are more freely given.
Okay. So
Just corral them into a rock and just stomach shake them into it.
you guys continue on your trip with little else as far as excitement or adventure on the path. And after the better part of a week, you make it to the destination of Lidstavitarath, Multipricken Drenithburn.
Dude, look at me. I'm writing fucking Shadowfax.
Yeah, you were
I'm ready. What is Sam's horse called?
Bill.
Bill.
pony.
Bill.
Go home, Bill.
There's no place for a horse. He just like wanders past the pond as a huge monster.
Oh, here we go.
As you get to Lake Galere, you can see out across the water the silhouette of the gnomish city, which is easily identifiable by the 6 windmills that sit high above the city, constantly spinning in the breeze.
They love their windmills.
Even from here, you can hear the faint sound of like a metallic clicking of
Clockwork.
some sort of mechanical apparatus doing something out there on the lake. And the road leads you to a ferry. And the ferry seems to be made of copper and tin as much as wood. There is a gnome standing at the end of the road, tinkering with some mechanical device in his hands, and he's dressed in like a heavy leather overcoat, some heavily worn overalls with a thick woolen sweater underneath, and some rather odd looking boots that have a sort of metal encasement around the toe and on the heel. And Largo, give me an intelligence check.
14.
Okay. You immediately remember something about this town.
Okay.
And that the fact that you are wearing cloth slippers is going to net you some remarks.
Oh, okay. Like this is like a leather and
The concept of this town is heavily focused on work and being able to build, fix, maintain, and pretty much the style of the town. Everyone has steel-toed boots.
Okay.
Because everyone is like, you will have a wrench dropped on your foot at some point in time. If you live here,
Yeah.
And anyone who shows up in leather, cloth, footwear is just considered silly and stupid, and they don't work hard, and they're,
Some tourists.
some level of pathetic or lesser than. And
So-
This town.
I
sounds
cast semen.
Yeah.
We're all wearing like
I don't need it.
thick duck work pants with like cargo pockets and like comically oversized steel-toed boots. All of us. All of
I
us.
want it.
It's too late.
It's too late. You have to. Do you want to pass the will save?
I do. I don't want to live like that.
Oh well. Let's see. It's a
I'm a mayor of Tarnal.
it's a DC 26 will save.
I'm going for it.
You get like +4 because I told you that it was happening.
Okay, so I was 16.
16 total.
No. Oh, I didn't have my will. Yeah.
He's
28, Largo.
I passed the first time.
Okay. So you don't have this, but all of the rest of us are like,
Yanni also
Yeah.
resisted
okay, all right.
successfully.
Well, then everyone else semi-comically oversized, not clown shoes, but like World of Warcraft
But
style.
it just seems.
Yeah,
I'm just
They
already
don't
covered
actually
in
exist.
they don't actually exist. It just seems this way.
Yanni nods at Mirok like, yeah, we don't conform. We do what we want.
I did it just because I think what I'm wearing is already cooler.
But I'm still wearing all the same stuff, like all the linens. I just have like work pants and steel-toed boots on. And as I approach, I go,
The sun going to send us. I'm a swally. Just swallowing the next winter.
It's good.
Yes, now.
And the gnome looks up at y'all and like, Yeah, sure.
No translate. There's well, we are in Lustevin. There will be no translate.
No, he says it in common.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Was it 4 people, dog, and 4 horses?
And
Is that
then
what I'm seeing here?
the horses are gone. And I go,
It falls on his ass.
Niskolanda.
You're one of those, huh?
This town is not what I expected.
Foggy weather.
You're only speaking in I'm so
I just think that this is what I should be doing.
Yeah, I think
It's almost
great.
like
I think it's amazing.
I'm confused that like I think I'm just like assuming he's speaking Gnomish back to me.
Mhm.
You know, I'm fluent. I'm very fluent in it. Just
Yeah.
maybe a weird accent. I don't get it.
It's great.
He, he sees all the horses disappear. Goes. So do you want to take the ferry then, or?
Yes, Walner.
Death 1R, yeah.
America is 100% here from this.
This is a huge deal for Larkin.
So he gestures you all onto the ferry, which in most ferries that you've come in across have been, rafts for the most part.
Yeah.
On some sort of, flotillas. This one seems to have, metal walls coming up, and it kind of sinks down into the water a little bit. So the bottom of the basin of the ferry is lower than the water level.
Yeah.
It's a little surprising and weird for what you've seen. The lake seems fairly placid, so you're not thinking that this is going to be a huge issue. But as you all start walking on, the ferryman knocks on the plate on your arm and points at a box that is situated near the front of the ferry to where you guys came in. And you take a look over there, and it says on the box, Aldred Merenbar's Apothecarium. And then it says 25 gold water breathing potion.
So is the implication here this thing's going to go underwater and we all have to pay the equivalent of $250?
He sees a dwarf in full plate.
Sure. It's specifically
Just you.
He sees the guy who, if he goes over the edge, is not treading water.
Yeah, because Aaron knows how this place works, and York is definitely a little bit concerned.
But also, you guys, the players, would recognize this as some sort of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Mirok sees a box.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand.
Do I see this happen? Because if I see it, I'm just going to bust out laughing.
I am sure that with Yanni's perception score, yes, he does see this happen. You with your hesitation, he says, "Peace of mind," but it's up to you.
I ask him, just like, how's the weather? But I just say, how deep is the lake?
I think some parts of it are around 70, 80 feet. It's pretty deep near the middle.
Okay. I say no, thank you. And as we're crossing, I'm going to be increasingly stressed at the midpoint. It's like I can stone shape myself up. I just have to wait to get to the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He shrugs his shoulders. But as I said, you guys as players would recognize this as a vending machine.
Yeah.
You guys as characters would have no concept of what a vending machine is.
Yeah.
Which
Which-
box that says water.
Yeah, because the idea that you would stick a coin in a box and turn a little crank and something will pop out of it is like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody else
But
does
he's
that.
still offering you a potion.
For 25 gold, which I did not do.
So you guys all get on the ferry. He kicks a lever, and you see a massive spring wheel start to unwind, and that starts pulling the ferry across a rope out towards the center of the vehicle. Ferryman walks over to you and says in Sylvan, "Chat."
This is, I say, yeah, chat.
Yeah, and then you understand what this means.
Yeah, we're just gonna
both. And this is a gnomish form of conversation where you both just shoot information at each other, and you've both learned like the ability to pick up what the other person
Yeah.
is saying and hone in on things that you're interested in and ignore the stuff that you don't care about.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a sharing of information. It's not really a conversation.
Yeah, totally. Just
You know, like you are feeding him information that you think is interesting. He's telling you a lot about ferries and people who've traversed on the ferry recently. And you know, for gnomes, this is a recreational pastime and it's a way to offload, kind of de-stress
It's
and
not fair.
dump on other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of you, I mean, I guess Mirok understands.
I mean, I
some
think
of
Merrick
this,
tries
but-
to listen to it for a second, but it's like kind of like grabbing a live wire and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, they're
Too much.
they're both just and you're listening and you realize that they're speaking, but then they've mastered the ability to inhale while speaking at the same time.
Yeah, circular breathing.
So it's just it's like this for the first like minute or so as the ferry starts crossing the water. It's just this really calm, quiet thing, and then he goes over to Largo and says, "Chat." And Largo says, "Sure," and then. And then the rest of the conversation is the rest of the trip has this constant din of two gnomes speaking at each other very rapidly, incessantly.
This is Merrick's hell. He's unappropriate in open water.
No chatter.
And as you guys get closer and closer, you hear that sound, and it becomes apparent that the windmills are driving, massive clockwork gears and what have you that are providing mechanical power in different ways to different parts of the city. And then on top of that sound of Largo and the ferryman having a conversation, joins a chorus of hundreds of gnomes who are having similar conversations.
Fuck this place. Merrick was so
Very
scared
loud.
at first.
I told you it was loud.
Oh my god.
I mean, but as you get close, like it's with just Largo and the ferryman, it's this but now that there are hundreds of voices, it's kind of like, waves breaking on the ocean. It's just this constant din of noise. And the ferry docks and a staircase drops in from the landing at the city. And here, as it's going into early evening, you see light posts lining a wooden walkway between buildings, just like flare up on their own as they are gas-powered lanterns of some sort.
Pretty cool.
Very exciting.
Think you lead the way.
Yeah, I mean, the chatting ends. I thank him. I say, Marthy. And continue on into the town. I find, or before I leave his company, I ask him,
Do you want to say orphanage?
He says, nearest one's probably in Merrick.
Damn.
Do you want to say places children no name?
It's going to go past one.
I don't know. I run the ferry.
I thank him for the chat, and I say,
Places drink us now?
Stepping down.
He looks at you and says, Plink tink sink binkadink. Which you everybody else hears this and goes, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
The two of you recognize that this is sort of a play of the Gnomish dialect. It just sounds like a bunch of words that make the same noise. It actually does have a meaning. And it's the tipsy fae whose wing got stuck in a copper gear.
okay,
It's the name of a tavern.
okay, gotcha, cool. I go
Wonderful.
and disembark.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I go with a sway. As I've already disembarked, I look back at him and go like this.
He looks at you for a second and then turns to you and says, we don't really speak the forest language here so much.
I'm not exactly like I'm not.
If your friend over there doesn't know how to speak common, then
I'll talk to him. That's great.
Largo's gonna be bummed, but he'll stop speaking Sylvan.
well, you did speak in Sylvan when you entered the chat with him.
Yeah, totally. That is a pastime. It's like Inuit throat singing.
Just for fun.
Yeah, let's do this.
So, yeah,
We'll
and he does tell you, like, if you want to get to the bar, follow this road. It'll make an S curve, and then you want to take the left at the Y.
Cool. I'll start heading that way. My thought here is that we go to the bar. Bars are places of information, and we figure out like, where we can find the logs of the children that were dropped off in the place I was dropped off.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Like library, orphanage or something,
Chat him up.
Thunder room of orphanage.
In Dwarven, I tell Richard, we're going to a bar. Be advised, everyone in there is much smaller than you.
Uhtred was taking a nap on the ferry.
Yep, just sit over
He wakes up.
All right, we're going to the Tipsy Fae.
Whose wing got stuck in a copper gear.
Oh, I got all of it written down. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, so you head to the Plink Tink Slink Binkadink. And as you are going down the avenue here, which it does sort of wind in a janky, random-ish fashion, you do see other gnomes involved in chat, and it's strange. Like you'll see like two groups of like 3 or 4 sitting next to each other. They're all speaking at each other crossways at the same time,
Are they
And then
making
like
eye contact,
one
or
will
is-
like drift into another group without breaking without breaking his speech, and just like enter into this secondary group. And
It's like
Largo,
turning
you're
into
like
a
kind of
game.
picking up on this, and it's like, oh, yeah, well, that conversation got boring. He drifted to something he heard peripherally and
Yeah.
took interest elsewhere.
Does anybody else feel like they're in a beehive with all this going on?
Yeah, New York might have a panic attack.
Especially when we go to a bar. Inside.
But yeah,
Is it only gnomes that we see? Is it like 100% gnome population, or are there any other?
It's overwhelmingly gnomish. You do see like through the window of a business, you see a human speaking with a gnome. You think that maybe just as you were going down a street, you saw someone take a turn that looked like a dwarf, but not a significant non-gnomish population here.
I wonder if non-gnomes can learn chat.
I'm good.
Probably not.
Knowledge history check.
Knowledge history check, huh? I ain't got it.
They
So
tried once.
intelligence, 8.
Not that you're aware of.
Okay, yeah, for sure makes sense.
You get to the in what seems to be a dead end, and you follow the S curve, and you're supposed to make a left at the Y. You get to a dead end, and then the wall just starts moving as that section of the city is rotating.
Oh, damn.
And after 30-40 seconds, it comes to a stop, and then there is a fork in front of you. And
Argo's startled by that. That's crazy. I've never seen that.
Are these like metal walls or are these stone walls?
it's everything you see seems to be mostly copper, tin, and wood.
Okay, yeah.
As you were coming up on the city, you saw that underneath the city there were these massive ballasts of what looked like copper tanks. Yeah, completely green with verdigris and weathering of the elements. But most of the rest of the city, you see patches of verdigris here and there, but it seems that an effort is being made to keep the exposed metal polished, at least not to a shine, but at least to avoid weathering and discoloration.
Interesting.
And there is a massive amount of activity. You actually are seeing some people polishing sections of the buildings and the curbs and different things. But they're doing this with like contraptions, like sticks that end in fluffy things and then have a crank on them, and you just see the
While just chatting at each other.
Yeah.
you see these sort of
A real conniption.
buffer pads shining something as someone's twisting an egg beater on a yeah.
This is lovely. This is lovely. Largo is extraordinarily overstimulated right now. He's never been around this many of these other people.
It's different than Gelton, which is the small sleepy wood village that there is a significant duality in gnomes, and some very much get into the concepts of mechanisms and engineering and alchemy as well, and others prefer more natural lifestyle, at peace with the forest and focused on natural magic and their connection to the Fae. But these are the gnomes that wanted the hustle and bustle and all of the modernness of technology that there is to be offered. Yes, after a little while, that section of the city comes to rest. You get on, you cross over, and then you feel a slight pull as that section of the city starts to spin again. And but after a couple steps, you don't really notice, and you head towards the tavern, and you can see a placard out in front that is looks like a very sort of a Tinkerbell looking fairy with a cocktail glass, and her wing is stuck between two gears.
Okay. All right. I kind of straighten my coat, look down to make sure I've got my soiled work pants and boots on, and I look to my companions and I go, Toyota. And briskly walk into the bar.
All right. So inside the bar, you actually see several humans, and a pair of dwarves sitting with two humans and a gnome. But there is a actual, and not all of the tables and stuff. Some of the tables in here are made for medium size, about half and half.
Okay. Gives us an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I excitedly kind of hurry my party to a table, if there's one free, and kind of like, motion that they should sit here, and then jabber something at them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and walk up to the bar. Like, I'm going to get the drinks. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys all sit around this table, and you realize that all the seats are really low. And then looking around, you can see that some other people are going up to their table, and there's like little round buttons on the edge of the table that they press in and out, and the thing like spring load pops out, and they take out a pipe about that long, and they stick it into a crank underneath there, and then they twist it to get the stool to the appropriate height that they like, which for Bort is probably like at its lowest setting is pretty good but for someone of Largo's stature, he'd want to crank it a good bit up to sit decently at a medium-sized table.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is also handy for Mirok and Uhtred. You guys generally are sitting about here when you sit at a human-sized table, so getting to about here is kind of nice.
Did you tell me that they don't really speak the forest talk here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That would have been
I'm gonna
really
try it.
I mean, he didn't say it where you couldn't hear it.
Okay.
He said it in front of you talking to Mirok.
All right, bummed me out a little bit, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, so I go out to the bar and I go, me and my friends would like a round of your finest ales, please.
Sure. What do you mean by finest?
How much is your favorite? Your favorite ale?
Oh, no, I meant like, do you want the one with the finest bubbles or the finest texture or the finest as far as the price of it?
I say to him, chat.
He looks down the bar both ways to see if anybody's begging for his attention, and not seeing anybody immediately calling for something. He nods and
I am specifically picking up on things that I.
Oh yeah, he's throwing down the menu.
Yeah,
he's basically.
So I go with.
What are you throwing at him?
I am throwing like, I technically am from here, but I went to a forest community, and I'm essentially telling him our mission.
Okay.
I am looking for well-kept records that I might be able to find. I tell him how old I am, and I say, like, I am looking for, I said that I grew up with some magical aptitude, and I am looking
You tell him how old you are, and you like interrupting, like in between syllables of talking about one of the beers. He says, "You're full of shit," and then just keeps on going.
You look 60 or 70, I guess. Yeah.
And I go, just give me information based on how old I told you I am. I promise I'm not lying, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, continue.
So he's still throwing menu and stuff at you, and I'll say for your sake, you're assuming he's going to keep on telling you this until you throw an order at him.
Yeah, finest bubbles. A round of the finest bubbles, darkest, finest bubbles.
Okay. And
Nitro.
Yeah, I was gonna.
No
Yeah.
nitro.
Nitro coffee stouts.
So then he's
because they're on the pocket.
yeah. So then he says, "Oh, so then you'll want the black oil stout with the nitrogen."
Okay. Sure.
And and then he says, "You're probably gonna want to go to the community cognosterium."
Community Mysterium. I already had heard that before. Okay, that's a good confirmation.
And then you see him go over and he like grabs a hold of a tank and like slides it down and jacks it into what appears to be another tank underneath, and that is like he's taking the liquid, attaching it to the gas, and and you're looking at this. Oh, apparently they don't come pre-bubbled. It bubbles them at the tap.
Uhtred's going to be. I feel like Uhtred's going to be fucking thrilled.
I think the entire time that this guy's pouring a nitro beer, the two dwarves at their table are like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm
What the fuck are they
fucking
doing?
ready to rip into them.
When you get it, you're going to be like, oh my god, because you've only ever
Probably,
had like
probably.
lukewarm Firkin beer.
Like, what?
So yeah, there's this whole thing, and he sets everything on a tray and then slides the tray off of the bar, and like it comes out of the bar on a dolly.
Okay, thank God. I mean, I have a strength of 7 now, but still.
And like basically, like he filled your order and gave you a conveyance to take it to your table.
All right, I wobbly do so.
And you go,
Oh, and I apologize profusely, and I ask how much.
it's silver piece.
Silver piece, so that's 5 silver. I give him 1 gold.
He tips a bowler hat at you and tells you good luck.
Yeah, I thank him, and go on back to the table, start handing out the brews, and I go, I think you guys are gonna like this, and I drink some, and set it down.
The oil part was a little more literal than you were expecting.
Yeah, I'm just not a beer drinker.
No, there is some sort of oil in this.
So Uhtred starts he starts turning his up, and without even putting it down, he put whoever's closest to him. I don't know. I'm looking at Mirok right now or Bort. He just he kind of takes Bort's and then takes that one.
Loves it.
Yanni slides his beer to Bort and just kind of gives him a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily bad. It's just not what you expect and different.
New for Uhtred. He loves it.
Takes a sip and he looks surprised over his mug at Largo and he goes, Toyota.
Yeah. And then I go, Clarella?
Who knows gnomes can make good beer? It's the craft beer scene.
Black oil.
Obligation Island.
I love that. I love the gnomes of the craft beer scene.
Fucking bunch of steam.
There
He's
was
wearing a
bubbles.
boil, like a boulder cap.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Mixologist.
they definitely have the greatest variety and the strangest of combinations. It's not the best
Yeah. What is the best dwarven?
if you have the taste for it. I mean, like, yeah, the elves make a very crisp, very pleasurable champagne.
Yeah.
You know,
Cider.
humans can make lots of different things that just taste really, really good.
Yeah.
Dwarves are great at like the heartier stouts and things that will knock you on your ass in short order
Barley
without.
wines.
Cool.
No one's trying to make a great like Chimay. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's like when you're thinking like bubble, I was thinking like bubble gum.
Quad.
Yeah.
So I say that
You know more about this stuff than I do.
Yeah.
Try not to.
This is where we draw the map. Booze.
I mentioned that the community constitutional conservatism
Cognizerium.
Constitution check.
is where we might want to go. But I'm also down to like treat this as a little bit of a holiday if you guys want to like get a room.
You gotta sleep somewhere.
Hey, fun boys.
So, Largo, where is this consortium? Cognosterium.
It makes more sense if none of you get it right than if any of you did get it right.
The Cognosterium. Did he tell me? I neglected to ask as a player, but I can go back up to him too.
Give me a perception check.
18.
You look over towards him, and he seems to be busy at the bar and just kind of like, you know, eyes wandering as you're thinking about, you know, if you can remember where this was from the few times you've been here. And you notice that on the wall next to the door you came in is a big map of the city.
Okay.
And several areas are marked with, you know, locations.
Is there a "you are here"?
There's a button with a drunk pixie with her wings stuck in a.
Perfect. I approach the map.
As you approach the map, you see this big sort of relief map with the paths of the city made out of strips of copper, and different locations have nameplates next to them. You see that those nameplates are sort of sit in a recess, and then you see at the bottom of the map there's buttons, and it's like there's a button that says Dwarven, a button that says Common, and a button that says Gnomish, and a button that says Elven.
Okay, let's do Gnomish.
Okay. So you hit the Gnomish button, and all of the location placards that were written in Common, click a couple of times and switch to facing a. Looks like they've all got like a 5-sided
Nice.
roller that has the different locations names written in different languages. But yeah, so in Sylvan now you can see all the places. Looking at the map, there are 4 Cognosteriums: the municipal Cognosterium, the academic Cognosterium, the exploratory Cognosterium, and the community Cognosterium.
Well, yeah, I note where the community one is. Is it close?
I mean, it's not a huge city.
Yeah.
It's maybe about it's less than a half mile across, and it's almost a circle.
It's like 4th of Kyla.
Oh, much less, like an eighth.
Okay.
And like an eighth of the city is the exploratory Cognosterium, which is just sort of a walled off section where it's half walled off and the other half faces out towards the lake.
Okay.
The exploratory Cognosterium, like you've you're aware of this.
Yeah, sure,
city.
sure.
It's part of your culture. You're familiar with some of this. The Exploratory Cognistarium is basically a testing ground for new inventions, alchemical creations, and attempts at magical exploration. So it's just basically like a walled off section of the city where you can kind of blow shit up and you won't hurt somebody else.
Okay.
The Municipal Cognistarium is basically their concept of a magistrate, which is a town council that sits and debates what's going to happen with the town. And it's, if you remember correctly, it's basically a 24/7 debate where 7 or 8 of the 30 to 40 representatives in the city are just constantly chatting with each other. And then there's like one of them will stop and leave, and then somebody else will show up. But it's pretty much a 24/7 thing. And somehow along the way, when everyone reaches a consensus among all of the council members, then something is put into practice.
Yeah.
That's what Quakers do. They do consensus. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh god. Yeah, you hate it in real time, in real space, and in the warp.
Yes.
Yeah.
The academic cognistarium is the college in the city, and it's more like people will teach and learn theory at the academic cognistarium, and then they will go try things at the exploratory cognistarium.
That's a fucking silly place.
And then the community cognistarium is basically a hall of records for all the gnomes in the city and the settlements outside, just sort of census records, bureaucratic efforts to keep track of what's going on in the community and what gnomes are where. And
I'm gonna be in that record because the orc sacking of what was my village called?
Gelton.
Gelton is.
It's a small hamlet outside of Timber Hill, which would be kind of, depending on one of those things. There's like saying you're from New York, but you're actually from Soho.
Okay.
You're from Gelton, but for some people you just say Timber Hill and they probably won't even know where that is, but it's more recognizable than Gelton.
Well, I kind of make note of where it is. Is it clear to me how to get there if I were to step out the front door of the bar?
Yeah. There's 1 or 2 places where you're gonna have to wait for the city to spin to the right location.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right. I return to the table and I say the community cognistarium is in my mind. I know how to get there. I'm in no particular hurry. As I said, it's been a while since I've been here and I'm kind of just taking it in. But when you guys want to go kind of continue our quest for knowledge, I'm ready. So but if you want to have more of this lovely beer, I look at Uhtred, then we can do that too.
I had a quick thought. Uhtred, do you want Mirak and Uhtred to go over and talk to these other dwarves, see what their deal is? What are they doing here?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Let's go scout some town.
Grab a couple more beers.
Yeah, I think we go up to the bar. We order some dwarven beers, and we take them over to their table.
Okay.
Makes of the sense.
You order dwarven beer, and he kind of gives you a little bit of a disappointed look, and turns around and goes into like a cellar or something.
Yeah.
Which is probably a little curious for Mirak, because at no point have you gone on an incline.
Yeah.
So there might be actual access into some of these ballast tanks. They might serve as cellars or basements.
Yeah, they would have a cool temperature where water.
But yeah, he pulls a trap door up from behind the bar, and just you hear tick, 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 and clunk, 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 back up, and he pulls up a cask and sets it on the bar and says, "I assume you want the whole thing."
I shrug and look at
I
Uhtred.
do.
Which it's like it's like a full size cask to him, but to you guys it's kind of more of a pony keg.
Yeah. I hand it to Uhtred. I plunk down how much does he want?
For the cask, it's a gold and a half.
Okay. I plunk down 1 gold and 5 silvers. And I grab 4 cups, and we make our way over to the table of 2 dwarven.
There are 2 dwarves speaking with 2 humans and a gnome.
And I throw down a gold piece for the tip. Mirok.
You got it. We walk up. I introduce myself. The diplomacy check. Yeah, the natural one. So you might be able to help out here. I introduce myself as the mayor of Tarnal. I'm sure I come off as like kind of a prick that's interrupting the conversation, and then I'll turn it over to Uhtred.
Well, with your diplomacy check, that's so a natural one is a -10. But you still have like what, an 8?
19. Right, so it's 8.
So
I come off maybe a little bit aloof.
Yeah.
Prickish.
You don't make a positive impression, but you don't make an awful impression either.
Okay.
Yeah, and as he, comes off kind of arrogant or whatever, Uhtred is just, have some ale, my friends. Tell me a story of travel.
Like that.
Yep.
Nice.
So, yeah, Mirok, you come up, you introduce yourself, and everyone just kind of like, it's kind of a record scratch at the table. Everyone looks over and looks at you.
Hello.
And then Uhtred comes with the cask and just like slams it on the table.
Yeah.
Beer's on me! And the table kind of looks at that a little bit, curiously. And then the dwarves are like, ah!
Yeah.
And at that, the humans are like, yeah. And the gnome's like, so yeah,
If you roll
so you guys talk to them for a little bit. The dwarves are there as they're merchants from Cass. They're
sick.
here to deliver shipments of metal, tin and copper primarily. They lament that Gustavit doesn't really care much for iron or steel. But if they want to buy the shit stuff, they can buy the shit stuff. And the gnome tries to interject with saying how useful, the more flexible materials and lighter density materials can be, especially on a floating city. And the humans just seem amused by the back and forth between the dwarves and the gnomes.
Argue about metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Electricity, copper.
Yeah. The humans seem more like, they're the ones who run the merchant caravans that are transporting the metal for the dwarves, and the gnome is some sort of contact or local seller of the materials once it gets into the city.
I asked them how long they were in town for.
Well, we don't really have any plans. Probably maybe another day or so before we head back out.
Okay. I reintroduced myself again and
Perhaps you didn't hear me.
yeah. No,
Mayor
I reiterate
Twerk your monocle.
that I am the mayor of a town, and it sounds like they might have a surplus or of tradable goods. I'm basically implying, maybe there's a deal to be made here down the road. Can I get like your business card, basically?
Do you when you're talking about it, do you say Tarnholm or Tarnum?
That's a good question.
I'm the mayor of Tarnum.
Upon which of the
Upon which blow me.
Does Merrick have a mustache?
Yeah, it is a very long mustache. It's got like little end caps on it. On his
Feral.
face.
Crimson.
Yeah.
The crimper.
Well, this little
They're the two of them are cousins. They're both members of Darkspoke family, which you can pretty much tell right off the bat that they're hill dwarves, not mountain dwarves.
That's awesome.
You should tell them that you have one of the anvils.
Fuck.
And they inform you that their office is in Westpac.
Okay.
If you're interested in doing business with them, then you'd want to meet with them, at their office, and
Which is part of the Dutch Empires, right?
Westpac would be.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking east.
Would be Merrick.
Okay. Cool.
Merrick.
Thank you for their time. Uhtred, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so as they, tell Mirok their spiel, Uhtred brings his glass down and puts it on the table and explains to them, today you have found more than gold. The wealth of sitting at this table with Uhtred Harmsen will be told for years to come.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming he does look pretty badass.
Yeah.
And you're still in your fucking adamantine full plate.
Yeah.
Being like, do you want to do business? I'm a mayor.
Oh yeah.
Let me take off my helm.
Oh, his helmet.
Bill is like, what? You're wearing 15,000 gold pieces.
Just casually. The gnomish pub.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it'd be like if fucking Thor, Captain America was just like an accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked exactly
Just
the
a
same.
bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you guys are sitting there. Uhtred says that, and one of the humans goes, "Wait, like, are you Uhtred's cleave, Uhtred?"
But yeah. Like yeah.
The guy.
He's just gonna like, my farm was in that
He drains the whole tankard before he replies.
I go by many names. The Dragon Slayer.
Yes.
That one.
That's it.
I go by many names. Here's one of them.
Oh yeah, wow. They know me.
Yeah, so he's like, the other human's like, nah, that's bullshit, man. Like that guy went to hell. It's not a real dude. That's like just a story, and like they get into it.
You gotta go in. You gotta prove
Oh,
it.
I mean, I immediately I'm like, no, he went to hell, and then I went to hell, and I got him back. And if they do not believe me, Merrick will just
Get me.
no, he's gonna touch the table and just send it away to the earth plane.
Okay.
Just
Send it away with what?
To the earth plane. Just like touch the table and just like make it go away and be like.
That's pretty good.
I'm also covered again in adamantine armor.
Yeah, what the dwarves like hear like the argument beginning between the humans and Uhtred, and they look at you and they say, "Swear on your beard."
I swear on my beard.
And you, I mean, you know that's
The real deal.
Yeah.
And then they look at each other, and then they like one of them like hops up on his chair, then hops up standing on the table and yells to the bartender, "Another cask over here for Uhtred!"
Fuck yeah. I'm like, and I carved the rock.
The cleaver of Dunbar!
I wrote that was my line.
And his friend!
Yeah.
This is the best. This is the best night Uhtred's ever had.
Wine and dine and
Even better than
again.
last week when he rescued his wife and daughter. It's the best time.
Uh-huh. awesome. Greatest night of my life. This live in the
I'm
now.
gonna get back to Tarno's like worst dad mug.
They're not there.
They're not there.
They're not there. There you
Yeah,
go.
they're not. We still, they don't know. You just having a boys' night.
Okay, so yeah, I assume this turns into a whole thing.
I mean, probably. Do you
Like,
want to see him?
Yeah. Let's go to the Cognizerium. I just sent a funny
Tonight?
meme in the group chat.
Oh,
I
what?
accidentally sent the wrong one,
Uh-oh.
but it's supposed to say man forced to eat own beard.
Okay.
And someone changed it like with
Man cut
Photoshop,
off
said
own
man
penis.
cut off own penis. But that is it's a true story. It's a true story that this like crazy dude broke into this dude's house and made this man eat his own beard. And, it was a meme from like 4chan like years ago, but it is a true news story from like West Virginia. And
Well,
I'm sorry I sent the wrong one. It is a funny
This-
picture.
This altered headline just goes to show you that things could always be worse.
Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna try to go to the Cognizerium while this is happening, or are you waiting for? The
I would
next
like to
day?
take everyone. It's very important to me that we all are here together. Yeah, and like I said, if we need to take our time, we can take our time. Like they can hang out. We can do this tomorrow, right? We can get a place that is this an inn as well as
Yeah.
a bar?
Right.
We can get a room. We can hang out, and in the morning go to the pub.
Yeah, we do.
When we black back in,
Yeah.
Okay.
making our new dwarven merchant friends. This is great.
So you guys get rooms. They are 2 gold apiece for the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
And you know, this isn't, yeah, it is expensive. It's not a city that's, you know, bent on tourism. They
Yeah.
expect that if people are coming here, they have business and they have money. But as you go up to your rooms, like your rooms are like pods. Like this is you're not buying like a 3-person, or you know, like you're buying a cubicle that has a cot attached to the wall, running water, which some of you have probably never seen before.
Here.
And a chamber pot that, you know, is affixed to the floor and attached to a pipe, and you just use it and
That don't
everything
make no
goes away.
sense.
I've seen it, but only here.
That don't make no sense.
If any of you guys have any, like, if any of you are like,
Largo, what the fuck's going on?
But that's me, I mean,
What do I do with the 3 seashells?
yeah, great.
would Donnie and Largo be the only 2 that like had been around running water?
I mean, I definitely haven't. I'm sure you haven't, Guild Dwarf.
No, yeah, I for sure have it.
Yeah.
Is my
Yanni
family
has probably
crazy
seen
enough?
it. I think you probably have one bathroom in the manor that actually has, you know, some sort of an indoor plumbing thing.
He's a Vanderbilt.
But it's yeah, it's not as advanced as this. It's more like, you know, yeah, there's a cistern and you can open it up to pull water into a toilet and flush it, but this is a whole fucking system somehow.
This thing's like a bidet. Here we go.
I can I roll like a knowledge, like just like an intelligence check to see if I can explain plumbing to them if they ask.
It's a knowledge toilet check.
Knowledge toilet check, yeah.
Oh, I'm just like, well, I explained, but it doesn't.
As you guys go through the evening and you try to
I refuse
use
to poop.
you use or don't use the facilities over the course of the night. In each of your rooms, like 2 of them ceases to function. One of them just like won't turn off, and you have to go get the house mechanic to come in and fix it. Like this stuff all has advanced, you know, technology and stuff, but it breaks constantly. Basically, every establishment in the city has their own mechanic that is constantly fixing things that break constantly.
Pretty cool though.
It's you.
It's me. It's me, except I just put band-aids on things.
Sounds like that.
Everything's just broken.
Everything's broken.
Yeah.
Merrick doesn't poop. He wakes up the next morning.
First, like shits on the floor. And
Mirlock looks at the walls. No stone.
Yeah.
No stone.
Like, it's
Where do I
like
sleep?
this town was like up here, and it's just been plummeting the entire time we've been here.
So yeah, Uhtred wakes up the next morning just absolutely cotton mouth and sees his sink of water and dunks his head into it, pulls it back, and refreshes himself.
Classic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like what was that, LA Sports shampoo? What the fuck that was?
The sink of water is the toilet.
It's the toilet. Yeah. A cold bowl. The basin.
Yes.
He would walk out and Largo would kind of be like,
Did you? Oh, okay. I smell you.
It's like this is like this like little sort of ring of blue around the edges of his.
Yeah. Chemically treated. Okay.
That's not
Okay.
fish wash.
it's all over fucking Uhtred's head. He's
All right.
So now Uhtred's red hair is a little more purple.
Oh, see, it's just like
Just like a Largo.
So Cognosterium time.
Yes.
Okay. You guys traverse the what you call it, the streets of the city, and you do catch from time to time like a side sort of shot remark aimed at Yanni. Things like cloth heel and stocking toe.
Because I casted seeming once we were like, I did it again.
Well,
We
is
still
that like
have it.
8 hours?
It's
or-
like 8, or maybe 12, something like that.
Okay.
Let me see if I have my duration written down. If not, I can load each up. 12 hours.
You're being heckled for being comfortable.
So anytime they say that, I'll just be like, yeah, whatever, shorty, and just like keep walking, just trying to cause a little, problem in this quaint gnomish establishment.
That's fine.
Yeah, you say, that, whatever, shorty, and then immediately your hand shoots up and you grab a nut that was chucked at your head.
Okay. Just look at Largo. Like I give him like a, can I do something really quick?
Jan, you started.
I'll just put the nut in my pocket.
Gnomes are gonna pass you and call you cloth heel. I told this is why I cast semen. You started this.
I'm gonna have a very fancy collection of nuts by the end of the day.
Also, and then you might show. Oh, that's good hardware. Hand cut threads, rolled threads. Really?
Nuts.
Yeah.
No Medanian.
Oh. So yeah, I'm down to continue on to the Cognosterium,
Okay.
Yes.
Which Cognosterium?
the community Cognosterium,
Community constipation.
Caesar. Yeah.
the community conservative.
Okay. So
Ron
you
Paul.
Yes.
so you get there and you see a central building that looks, bigger than a lot of the ones surrounding it, and people hurrying in and out. And stairway. This one actually does kind of sit above the street line.
Yeah, you said there's a stairway. I climb the stairway, and I'm just assuming that everyone's with me, and I enter.
Yeah, you climb the stairway, and it's nice. These are stairs made for gnomes, so they're.
I was like, oh.
You're not you don't have to take 2 steps every time you get to the next step. You're not lifting, your knee to chest to get.
My little legs at half.
And it's a little annoying for Mirok and Uhtred. The stairs are a little too small for their feet. Yanni's just taking 2 steps at a time, and Bort just his feet are almost 3 steps big. So he's like balancing on his toes as he's going up.
Step mashing.
Very dexterous.
And you get inside and you see the corridor that you enter is lined with big bookshelves that are circular and they spin. And it seems to go like 3 deep in either direction. And a lot of it, you're like looking around, you see municipal records, lineage charts marked by specific families,
Okay.
lots of stuff. Nothing like orphan records or anything like that.
I approach. We could, but I also want to just go out. Like, is there an attendant on duty?
Down at the end of this corridor and past 12 rows of these spinning bookshelves, and you see like sort of large officious looking desk / podium, and there's somebody sitting behind that working at some sort of a machine.
I approach them.
Okay.
And I would like to roll a diplomacy check. A natural 1. But still 16. And I say, I need your help.
So you see a guy up there and he's got like trifocal reading glasses and he's looking at something and he's going.
He's typing.
Yeah. And you can hear like this clicking noise when he's doing it. And he says, 1 second. And it's more like minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah. I'm waiting
3
patiently.
minutes.
That's all right.
After about 7 minutes, he goes, yeah. How can I help you?
I say that despite my magically enhanced appearance, I am 153 years old. I was dropped off in this town as an orphan, where I continued on to an area near Timber Place. And I need to find a record of my mother because I was informed by a god that she is still alive. So I was wondering if there's any sort of like census from that time, and then I give him my name to the best of my ability.
So you're like, and you say, I am, and he says, yeah, I know who you are, Lago.
What?
This guy looks like he's probably in his 200s.
Okay.
It looks like he's been here for a while.
And then I say, well, I'm looking for my mother. I didn't know she was still alive.
It's news to me too.
I assume your diplomacy is so low because you're very hungover right now.
Yeah, I brought a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun time.
So you didn't come here to share your information about Gelton or the Orc raid. You're not here to verify the death certificates or give your account of the raid that happened, what was it, 3 years ago now?
I can do any of that you require. But the principal reason that I am here is that I found out that my mother is still alive. But I will do anything you need if it would help gnome kind.
All right, well, let's get started with what needs to get started with.
So help me, baby.
And I turn to my compatriots and I say, this might take a second.
So
You say it like you're trying to make us like.
No, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
So he comes down from his desk And he says, this is the second time we've met. My name is, I am Kamaldi Shanakwish. My name is Malik Bread Drethagan Bernanke Barnabell. I was one of the interns that processed your original arrival here.
This is okay. Wow.
Yeah, well, you were a unique case.
I want to know as much as you can.
I took an interest in you, and I heard reports of your efforts in Gelton. Underwhelming.
Absolutely. Agreed.
We tried to get a hold of you after the raid, and you disappeared, even though all of our reports said that you were a survivor, along with another young lady. But she did process, and she did verify the death certificates. So at least she did that much.
Yes. Understood.
He walks you to one of the rotating
Better than never.
bookshelves, and he gets to one of them, and he spins it a couple times, and then he pulls a lever, and the thing drops into the floor until he can get to the shelf that he wants. And he pulls out 3 binders, like hands each of them to you, and then hits the lever so the thing comes back up to the ceiling. And he says, all right, so it's page 237 to page 493 in this one, page 152. Like, he's just like rattling this stuff off the top of his head. And yeah, there's a lot of paperwork.
Death certificates mainly.
Death certificates, there's a couple of eyewitness accounts, there's excerpts from diaries, and there's like one of the clerks in like the local magistrate of your village was writing what was happening as it was happening.
Drums in the future.
We cannot. They're coming.
Yeah.
We cannot get out.
And so yeah, like there's just all this stuff. Next to kin notifications, like some stuff that you're like, I don't fucking know, but he just wants you to like initial.
Yeah. As I complete this paperwork, I am sure that it takes me a long time. I do not ask for a glass of water. I do not use the restroom. I am silently but extensively and profusely weeping the entire time.
Wouldn't you be seeing, if you're having to initial all of this, wouldn't you also be seeing the initials of the girl?
Yes. And I'm curious, but I will not bring misfortune to her.
Yeah.
However, my mother, I must talk to her.
So you do see her initials on a lot of this paperwork.
Yeah.
You do see she had given an account of the event. It was not flattering to you.
Yeah, totally.
There was a lot of, he hid in his house.
Yep. And I hid in the bush.
Didn't, he didn't help. People were calling for him.
Yep.
And he
Yeah. I know
was a coward. And despite all of his claims of power and supremacy, in the moment, he fell woefully short, blah, 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 blah.
I am just weeping, silently, just stoically signing the paperwork, reading every word, and just tears. Just my bodice is wet.
What are her initials?
VT, I think M.
Do we
ACM.
Her full name is Milivalonica, MTV. Milivalonica Timblithary Varnambaum.
If we ever see her, I'll apologize, but I'm not going to seek her out.
Yeah.
Especially after reading this account. But yeah, just weeping, signing all the papers, and then I blow my nose, dry my tears on my sleeves, and hand him back the records.
All right, so give me an intelligence check.
13.
Okay. So you get all of this done in about 6 hours.
Okay.
It's drudgery work.
We're not hanging around for this. Bort says, hey, if you gotta record my dad's name, can you just call him fucknuts? and then grabs Uhtred and fucks off back to the bar.
And then when he says that, I do mention it's like, that's the known descendant of the one of the last known descendants of Clamorender. And then I just go back to it.
We killed fucknuts and his brother fuckface. Don't worry, they're not out there anymore. Uhtred, let's go get drunk again. Like we're not sitting here for 6 hours
Just watching
doing
me weep.
gnomish bureaucracy.
Why?
I've got a construct dagger and a bar top in need of some mumbling thing in a gnomish tavern. Let's fucking get weird.
This whole city's a construct, man.
It's a construct bane dagger, man. We're gonna shut this town down.
Murdoch hangs around and idly flips through books. Tries to figure out the system out of information.
Yeah, you quickly realize that certain bookshelves are open to, perusal, and others have like a glass case around them that, prevents easy access. Most, like the largest section by like a factor of 3 is records of municipal code and its changes. It's just so massive.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the things that you were interested in as a mayor. Kind of
Not like this. Not like this. My town's cool. It has bars with bear dudes.
Yeah, like out of curiosity, you look at the last volume and there's like 17 pages on the new approved size of screw for
Well, no, that's important.
for curb size plating.
Yeah, let's see that. That I don't.
There's no small potatoes. Big potato.
But yeah, you guys head back to the bar, and on your way back to the bar, I'll say that for like, are you going back to the bar with them?
I guess I would ask the old guy if I could spin one of the things really fast, just to see how fast it would go. And if he shuts that down, I'm probably going to the bar.
He looks at you and he says, maximum rotation is 37 rotations per second. Get the fuck out.
You made that less fun. Okay, bye, Largo.
Bye, I'll catch up with you later.
As you guys are heading back to the bar, given the comment about Bort's heritage, it is not long before you see several gnomes following you and keeping their eyes specifically on Bort.
Bolt travels faster. Okay.
It's not a big deal.
You made it right.
Yeah, we're good.
You're
Watch
down.
out, Bort, they might throw nuts at you.
Got nothing on that.
Yeah, dude, you should just throw nuts at him.
Easy, soft shoe.
You're wearing these big ass kicking boots.
Giant fucking clawed up, big steel boots.
He's wearing these giant steel boots that make no noise when he walks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So after all that, the gnome clerk that spoke with you earlier, Malik for short, comes up and he says, looks over everything really quickly and says, well, better late than never.
Yes.
As far as your mother, your heritage, you were dropped off here by humans
Okay.
who found you when they were out on a voyage,
Okay.
and they didn't really leave accounts. They just wanted to drop off the gnomish child where the gnomes lived. So we don't have a record of exactly how they found you. But they did drop off one thing that was found with you when you were found. And it appears to be some sort of a note from wherever you came from.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be all gnomish, just like hands, fuck you.
Aw, it's my name, but I don't know it.
Did you burn that?
Yeah.
That's how?
That's great.
And toaster oven.
But how'd you get it like that uniform?
I don't know. I put it in the toaster oven.
Really good.
He says, so it's like 150 years old or whatnot. That stuff on there was some kind of dark jam, which is now obviously solidified.
Like a jam, like a food?
Yeah, some sugary something.
Oh, okay.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
That's all we got.
I
Hopefully,
appreciate it.
maybe it'll lead you in a direction maybe far away from here. We can only hope.
Okay, fucking nuts, dude. This guy just.
Well, I appreciate it. Do you need anything from me? Any small tasks? I have a modicum of magical ability. If I can be of help for the remainder of the day, cleaning, I offer those services.
Yeah, sure, clean the place up.
All right. I just start like prestidigitating everything.
This fucking ray of sunshine.
What's the name you call yourself by?
Largo Dilgozarn McTriolaton Yasmat, but I don't call myself that anymore. So that was I don't know if you guys ever knew this, but that is a string of titles.
Yeah.
Honorifics.
Yeah. But I don't go by that.
Big swinging dick.
If someone asks me like a last name, I just say Dismtree, but I don't. I'm just Largo now.
Puff it. Breathe it in.
Is that like homemade like magic ink that if you heat up it shows something, or is
No,
that
it's-
just like
It's fabric paint,
okay, yeah.
Okay.
but I baked it to burn it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah, you can make out some letters to there, but the problem is it's fucking gnome letters.
Well, they're
So
it's
your-
just written by a
English speaking
child.
brain is like,
Yeah. But that is great. I will keep this for the rest of my life. Huh?
There's your tattoo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. Have I told you about my tattoo? I'm gonna get a tattoo. You know, like it's gonna be like a heart.
Okay.
You know, like the mom heart. And just instead of mom, it's gonna say Largo.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that tattoo. It's a small thing. It's just like here, you know, I wear shirts most of the time. It's not a big deal. You can't see. Yeah.
No big deal. Wear shirts.
I wear shirts
Yeah,
most
you
of the
should
time.
wear-
No, I wear fucking shirts most of the time.
This guy.
Yeah, for real, see, yeah. Fine. Anyway, Boston's gone and thriving. You know, right off. The place done.
It's a great place. What stooge is that? Wait.
Oh, gee, boss.
Yeah, that one.
It's from like it's from like
Everything.
some
It's
like,
from
animated,
everything.
Oh, gee, boss.
Yeah, so I offer to clean. Like I just put forth my services. There's a little bit of ego in me that wants to like show off the fact that I'm probably the most powerful caster in this entire fucking town, but I don't do that unless he starts asking me about how I've developed over the course of the past 2 years.
I hate you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna clean.
You clean. He goes back up on his desk, and you're
It's all good. I deserve it.
seeing this Mirak quietly puts his book back and goes, "This is fucking weird." He just leaves.
All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, after I finish cleaning. I'm
He was
gonna
in solidarity with you reviewing records, and he was like, "You guys like, hey, you suck." He like spits on you, and you're like, "I'm gonna clean now." It's like, all right.
It's a thing. I deserve the little treatment, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of penance, whatever, and then meet you guys back at the bar.
Back at the tipsy.
Whose wing got stuck in a copper gear?
Dinky dinky ring stink.
Stinky pinky, what do you?
Stinky pinky.
What do you feel if you do with this information?
Compartmentalize.
Well, that's sure.
But yeah, we were dropped off by humans. I mean, it's difficult. I think what we do is we
You're like the Fooey of gnomes.
Yeah, I am like the Fooey of gnomes. We Largo's sleeping friend it, but not right now. We do a lot of preparation before that, and I would like the party's input,
Okay, what kind of preparation are you doing?
like group texting, coming up with like rhyming, really, really good questions and sequences by which we can ask those questions, and ways in which we can meta find information.
Gorp torxed.
Gorp.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Do you need any?
Yeah. Come on, play it.
I wrote it. It's in my notes.
Are we gonna hang around this
Let's go.
clockwork citadel?
Largo's pretty chuffed about it. He's like, we can hang out here for like a week if y'all want. Like Largo's pretty like, it's fascinating to him. He's around a lot of gnomes. It's been a while. He feels like he's feeling more comfortable here than he did last time. He's interested in continuing to
There
chat.
are many industrious gnomes here. What are the odds there's a gnome that has a solvent to remove whatever the fuck's on that note for you?
High. Yeah. So I didn't think of
It's not a burn in game.
Right.
It's like a thing on there.
Yeah, canyoucleanthis.com.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down to look around for that for sure. So I just meet y'all back at the tipsy Faye who got her wing stuck in a copper gear, and and let's start asking. Like I'm down to just gather information, check kind of through this situation. If you guys
Hey,
are
Largo, have you showed the drunkards of us your little note?
I say be very, very, very careful with it. It is like 150 some years old, and if you don't think that you should be holding it right now, please don't. I'm trusting.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hold it. I want to ask you if you've looked at it with your magic eyes.
Bort puts his hand on top of Uhtred's hand and continues to play mumbly. Big dagger.
I cast
Give me a
detect
dexterity
magic.
check.
I cast detect
Yeah.
magic and look at the note.
I think we're gonna be good. Yeah, I mean, 19.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
Okay.
So you detect magic, look at the note. The solidified blotch has a faint magic aura attached to it.
Very
Um,
good jam.
Give me a
It's just been buried.
Give me a knowledge arcana check.
Smashed.
Knowledge arcana. 18 on the die. We are looking at 31.
So it does not seem to have a strong connection to any sphere or school of magic, though you do recognize that it is it's extraplanar. It's probably from some Fey plane.
Okay.
Whatever that substance, the jam apparently is not is not earthly jam. It is extraplanar jam. Magic extraplanar jam.
Okay.
Apparently.
Do I know if it can be like? Can I do just like an intelligence check? 31 to figure out if it can be cleaned off.
Was that just an intelligence check
Mhm.
that you rolled a natural 20 on? Yeah, maybe there's a alchemical answer. Maybe there's a magical answer.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Lick
Well,
it.
Lick it.
Lick it.
The thing that you are thinking though is that this stuff has decayed and set in and has been sitting on this piece of paper for 150 years.
Yeah.
The fact that there is still a magical aura on it
Significant.
is
Lick it.
surprising.
Knowledge planes 26. Does Merrick have any idea of like what plane it's attuned to or from?
Well, all of this is happening inside Largo's head as he is.
We're at the table.
I share it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hence my putting my hand on top of Uhtred so he doesn't reach out and take the note. There's a knife, there's a knife in the way.
Let me
of
see.
doing that. We're doing this thing.
Like having a knife stuck through his hand is going to slow down
I
Uhtred
guess.
in the least. The wound will just pop up. We'll just heal up, and the dagger will pop out, and Mirok will go, "Oh."
Yeah. I need to rethink what I do with my downtime.
Yeah. So I do share this.
Okay. Well, I mean, you get the impression that it's from some sort of like a chaos plane,
Okay.
probably one of the Sealy planes.
Chaos
Okay.
Gem.
It's not the Feywild. It's not the Feywild in my setting,
Okay.
but the Fey do live on a chaos adjacent plane.
Okay. So it's that vibe.
And there's there's a Sealy and the Unseelie, and there's the Winter Court and the Summer Court.
Sealy, Unsealy, Winter Court, Summer Court, and these are all like demi-planes within the planes or like sub-planes.
There's probably an infinite number of planes. There's only some that are like important and worth paying attention to or visiting.
This is one of them.
In time.
So if someone says lick it, I'm gonna giggle a little bit and I'm gonna try like licking the section.
In time with the
Lick
day.
Medical
Hitting the
drinks.
table.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
We start chanting lick it. Lick it.
Give
Lick
me
it.
a perception check.
Largo's gonna be tripping balls.
7.
Okay. It tastes like old, solid. Like you're not tasting anything sweet. You're not
Okay.
tasting anything sugar.
Yeah.
It's just way past where you'd be able to recognize what it used to be.
I don't feel any different. All right. Well, we gotta figure out a way to clean up this note.
What if-
Imagine someone at the bar by themselves watching what's going on. at the
Lick
table.
it. Lick it. There's like a knife going.
We're just all
Lick
very,
it.
very
Lick it.
intimidating. Yeah. Okay. So I
Giant boots.
would like to gather some diplomacy check throughout the night. I rolled another 4, but 30. Diplomacy check kind of throughout the night, like asking about like, hey, I've got an old piece of paper with some stuff on it, and it's got some writing, and I'm just really curious about what it says. And I'm looking for like a really, really low grade solvent or something. Do you know anyone who provides a service or might have an invention that could clean it up?
Might want to go to Aldred Marinvar's Apothecarium, Lewis David Herath, Miltipriskin, Drenithburn on Lake Yeller, Broganville.
Okay, and that's in
the apothecary.
Okay.
He tells you to go to the apothecary.
I immediately am like, who wants to go to the apothecary? We're going to the apothecary.
Largo, before we go over there, I've watched you clean all kinds of things with your mind.
Oh yeah, I'll try prestidigitation on it. Jeez, I'm not with it tonight. Thank you, Yanni.
Lick it.
Or just lick it off.
Okay. You do that, and you do see like some oil stains on the corners of the paper and some like dust and whatnot be expunged from the piece of paper, but the stain does not go anywhere.
Do you have make hole?
Yep.
You wanna try that?
Yeah.
All right, let's try make hole on it.
Give me a cash flow check.
Make whole is. Yeah, my spell is full.
It's just a D20 plus your cash level.
Okay. D22. Gonna add an action die.
Well, it-
23.
all right. Well, with cash level checks for action die, you just add the tier of the action die. So it'll be a third tier action die. You just add 3.
Oh, great. You better.
Because it breaks the system pretty hard if you.
We discussed this, yeah. Okay, 26 total.
26 total. Okay. Give me the note.
This works. Make hole works. That's pretty bad.
Do you have a solvent you're gonna put on this thing? Oh, you just have it back on the. They like pour some vial of liquid.
Wow, I'm low. Whoa, the last word
Is it Uhtred?
is intense. Do I have something do you have an additional piece of information that helps me as a player read this?
What do you mean?
One sec. My Trixel bloggins Luvid.
My name is Largo. You want to read it?
Yeah, my name is Largo.
Just right here.
Drixkeed is my dearest triplets love, Litrix baby. Oh, this is not my name.
My name is Largo. This right here is my dearest, triply loved, littlest baby.
So is Largo's not my name? Largo is my.
No, Largo is your name. Dismtree is just random letters that were not covered by smush.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And my name is Largo. This right here is my. So did I come in with a stuffed animal too?
No, you're your own father. It's so
What do you
obvious.
mean stuffed animal?
It's like, well, who is my triplets loved littlest baby?
That's your mother. Your mother. is
Oh, the thing was, and the original actually.
No, I know that Dismtree is just like what was
Right.
showing, but what
Right,
does
the
this
original? The original had 2 holes in it where it was pinned to the cloth that you were on.
mean? Okay.
My name is Largo,
Yeah.
and then you open it up,
Oh,
and it's a letter from your mother.
my dearest little baby. Aw. So I don't have a last name yet.
And your mom might, not be a good writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
She writes like a baby.
Yeah. Interesting. Or she just does not speak common very well. I'm just trying to sound it out.
This is right here.
I love that. This right here is my most love little baby.
I mean, you are getting, all of this together points to the fact that your mother's probably some sort of a fae, not a gnome.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Oh, all right.
there you go, Dad.
So that makes sense. Because a gnome got down with a fae, and that makes sense why she's still alive.
That's why you're magic.
And that's why I'm magical, because fae bloodline. Okay.
So she probably lives.
And she spilled the jam on it.
I was about to say she's got to be a messy eater, hence the
Yeah.
jam.
Oh God!
So
Oh
this
God!
is-
I got jam on the baby.
This is an interplanar.
Oh, actually, so make a spellcraft check. Not you, man.
Oh, okay.
A warren.
What the fuck? It's the exact same thing. Is that my level?
Well, no, it's a spellcraft check.
Oh, yeah,
Spellcraft is
sorry.
a skill.
Yeah. Oh, it's so bad for me. It's so low. It's 14 right now. I'm gonna use my last action to try to improve it. Yes. So that's a 22.
22. Okay. 20 was what you were looking for.
Yes.
You make whole a piece of paper,
Mm-hmm.
and it cleans the piece of paper, and the holes where the pins were pushed through it is repaired, and all of that black, stuff like flakes and soots off and lands on the table next to it and turns into a little pile of goo.
Oh, it's jam. I smell.
You fix the jam too.
Did I just use an action die to make jam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have like some sort of who has a container? Largo starts frantically looking for a container.
Lick it.
Get a shot.
Yeah. I run up and I go like, I need a container.
He hands you a tumbler, which is, a shot, a gnomish tumbler, which is a human shot glass.
Okay. Yeah. And I grab it and scoop it up, but then I scoop it up with my hands and I go,
To eat the whole thing?
no. Put it in the thing, but then what's left?
Make a will save.
Uh-huh. I have a feeling it's gonna be okay. 26.
Okay. The world around you explodes in the most vibrant color you have ever seen. It's like you've been living in black and white until just now.
Wow.
Everything is vibrant and alive, and the copper shines,
Wow.
the tin lusters, even like the color in your friends' faces is just more, you've never seen them so alive, and there's a beauty in every living thing, in every facet and corner of.
You just got that from a little lick.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately look around. I failed the will save. I rolled 26 and I failed.
No, that's what happens when you pass the will save.
Okay, well, I immediately glob a little bit on my finger and present it to Mirag, and I'm suck my finger. My eyes are just
Bigger plates.
Yeah.
Please. And I do that. And I roll a will save with no fucking action.
I'm just freaking dead.
20 on the die. Or 20 total, sorry.
20 total.
Yeah.
Okay, you trip balls, man.
Okay, cool. So not like him. I'm all of that, but then I'm also just I'm.
I mean, you
non-functional.
get that,
Yeah.
and it just overwhelms you entirely, and Largo or Mirok is just sitting there. It's so. And then just drool.
I go around to each one of my party members, and I'm just I'm so happy. I'm this is amazing, and I just give them all a little bit.
Just ghosting everyone.
Yeah. No words, just lick my finger, if you guys choose to.
Oh yeah.
Guess I'm gonna lick your finger, even though my man Mirok is manually breathing at this point.
Is Uhtred getting in on this?
Richard would do this.
Okay.
Are
Are you offering it to Otis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to use an action die.
Otis is gonna like anything of it anyway, so you're his dog.
If there's enough of it left.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be enough of it left. It's like a lava jam, right? It's fills the shot.
No. I'm saying, are you going to use it all right now?
No.
Okay. Right,
It's just, this is amazing. Everybody needs to experience this.
Rolled a 28, and I did burn one action die.
Okay.
Okay.
Fort rolls a 3.
Mm.
It's a will save.
Yep.
Turn into a werebear.
10.
Okay.
I rolled.
So my action die was to make drugs.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
24.
24. Okay.
So will, right? Not fortitude?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right.
What'd you roll, Glenn?
19.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Uhtred, Yanni, you guys, just like you see this vibrant burst of color, you get an overall sense of wellness and comfort, and just like there's also like a sort of sadness that you've never seen the world like this, that you've lived all your years, and you've never seen everything as alive and real as it is in this moment. Bort.
Fucking nuts. You become awful good.
That's what you needed. This was the jam.
You see, this explosion of beauty, vibrance, brilliance. It is the second greatest vision of beauty you've ever seen. And being the second greatest, you can only think about the first greatest. And you have this very spiritual, very deeply emotional trip, remembering your childhood with your mother.
Oh.
I don't know if there's weeping as much, like it might be all happy, but there's probably also, a sadness to it.
Like that episode of Doctor Who where Vincent Go goes to Vincent Go too.
Yeah.
But as you are having this, experience, and Bort's just 1,000-yard stare. He is catatonic in his chair. You also experience this, seeing these two other half-orc children, one who's maybe like a year younger than you, and the other one who's like a toddler, maybe 1 or 2 years old when you're 7 or 8. 2 girls, and they come to visit. And later on, this is not a memory. This is an experience that you're having in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you get this sort of vision, this sense of your sisters.
Okay.
Kind of visit you in your childhood and in this hallucination.
I am so
Trippy.
glad that we all shared this experience.
How long does this shit last?
Roses are red, man. It's fucking awesome, dude. We learned, we'll be like, this is the best thing ever. You guys gotta try it.
For those of you who made the save, it's gonna last about 8 hours of just like this vibrance of color and life around you. 2 of you that failed are gonna have about 4 hours of trippy experience, and then you'll kind of fade into just the vibrance and stuff for another 4 to 6 hours.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Sweet. No one's sleeping tonight.
Mm-mm.
Let's just go up to our pods.
Home trip.
That is I don't know.
Yeah. No, we're hanging. We're just hanging.
Mhm.
Let's go get into these things.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
just
we're
hanging.
looking for a little trouble.
Yanni picks up Largo just to like get in his face, and he's just staring into his eyes, and he's like, "Man, I love you. Let's go watch shit blow up together. Like, let's go to the other consortium." He says it wrong as shit on, he tries, but he can't get it. Let's go to the one where they blow shit up. That'll be awesome.
I agree with you. And I look at the 2 friends who might be having a more intense experience, and I just say, like, let's make sure that we can just go everywhere together. But we should go to the exploratorium.
Exploratorium.
Explodatorium.
We should totally go to the exploratorium.
Yeah. So during the course of, until the 2 of them come out of their catatonic states, you do get some looks from other tables,
Yeah.
And eventually 2 gnomes do come over and say, what are you guys doing?
I explained to him these gnomes. I'm gonna roll a bluff.
Okay.
On drugs.
Bluff
drugs.
Yeah. The bluff is 28.
Okay.
And I say, we have had a very tough year. We've been through a lot of experiences together, and we are finally able to take a little time off. And we're imbibing some ales and making merry. And it's a very surreal experience to just be here again. I haven't been here in years. And we're just kind of all caught up in the moment right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have
Fire flag. They're just
talking to the cops.
Yeah. So you
the dagger stabbed right here.
you share this story with these people, and they listen, and you kind of end it with like, yeah, so we just want to spend time with each other. This is a us thing. And then kind of almost in unison, the 2 of them nod and walk away, as though under some form of compulsion.
Did you do
I lied to them.
that? Do you think they were just trying to like horn in on our drugs, or do you think they were narcs?
I think they were trying to hone in on the drugs a little bit, but also just like, what the fuck is going on here? They might have also been the bouncers, but I look at Yanni after that and I go, if everyone's good to go, let's kind of wander around the exploratorium.
Exploratorium, Autobots roll out.
I don't like drug Yanni. Drug Yanni's
So,
We're just making you narrate us walking around a gnomish city on mushrooms.
so you guys get to the exploratorium.
That's a miracle.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, it is not really hampering your cognitive functions. It actually seems to be more or less enhancing them in somewhat distracting fashion. But especially, as Yanni and Largo and Uhtred spend a couple of hours with this sensory expansion sort of effect, they're more used to it. They kind of have a handle on it by the time you and Bort come out of American Bort come out of their stupor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a horrific, it's not an intense lack of control, as more as a shift of perception. And yeah, you make it to the exploratorium. Unfortunately, the exploratorium right now, there seems to be 4 gnomes who are trying to make some small clockwork. It's kind of like battle bots, but none of them are working.
Is there a tiny gnome that looks like Granny Mahara?
No.
I picture us just kind of like half circling them, and just like yeah, just like not necessarily speaking, less spoken to, not menacing, just
Just mouth breathing.
just like
I reach into Yanni's pocket and I pull out a couple of nuts. Just like chew on them.
just looking at me like,
Wow.
wow.
So, what?
And if they look up, I was like, no, keep going.
I mean, actually, probably you guys, being that nothing's exploding or anything, the what you call it, what the gnomes are up to is
Battle bots.
fairly boring, generally speaking. But what catches your gaze is the water. As the half of this space just opens out onto the lake, and you get a very strong sense of the life, that out there everything is living and breathing, and there's almost an aura of life coming off of the water. You can even see it on the trees and in the air. Where you've been in a completely artificial area up until this point. Now it's looking out on nature, looking out on the living, breathing world itself.
Without saying a word, I pull out my fishing pole.
I look at you.
Out
and
of
just
where?
Smile and pull out
It's like a
mine.
cane pole. It breaks down.
It breaks down, yeah. Just put it all together.
And you gave me one, right? I'm just like, and like break out my fishing pole, and we're just running.
It's the fishing trip. It's the boys' fishing trip Yanni has always wanted. Tears of
This
joy
is-
are just running down his face.
An exploratorium. It is a designed space for a level of havoc, right?
Yeah.
Mirok, remembering that boat, he wants to use walls of stone to try and crudely make that shape out of stone.
A boat?
Yeah, on the side, like like a 3D printer, how it had
Right.
just that little touch point.
Because you don't have it has to come from a stone point, doesn't it?
Stone boat.
So
Stone
it
boat.
be affixed to a stone surface.
Just to be affixed to a surface.
And you
I don't think it
have
has to
to
be stone.
capstone project.
Like,
Make it
very
simple.
much
Well,
double check.
And you
Yeah,
have
totally.
Oh, balloon.
Yeah. Stone balls.
Stone boat.
Yeah, it's like two, that, and they kind of curve in like that, on the back.
Stone.
Your rowboat.
You just, oh my God, you're gonna go out to the middle of the lake. It's gonna float for a little bit, and then you're just gonna sink and die.
None of it displaces water correctly.
Don't worry, Mirok, I'll reel you in.
Stone boat.
We're just laughing and fishing.
Where's my fishing line?
I'll let you use. We'll take turns. I'll let you
I
use.
do a cannonball into the water.
Yeah, I mean, Mort is getting nude, just wading in, just like gazing into the middle distance, just like naked, just
So
only
the first
in
line of the
illusory
spell
boots.
description is this spell creates a wall of rock that merges into adjoining rock surfaces.
Okay.
Just double checking to make sure.
Could I then create a pillar of Mosin as a central structure to build around? Because that would be rock.
Dry dock,
So high.
so high.
What really happens is it sinks to the bottom of the lake. Best thing happens, I get stuck out in the lake by myself.
In a stone boat,
Uh-huh.
high as
Unable to see the shore.
So you want to try to do the pillars of Mosin.
Yeah. So I pillars of Mosin in the appropriate area, and then from that, like within it, I do diagonal, and then I stone shape them to kind of curve into a bow, and I stone shape up the rear.
Okay, so you do pillars of Mosin.
Yeah.
And out of a planar rift, these columns of
Yeah.
stone appear on, and then you start to hear. Because you just summoned like several tons of stone.
Yeah.
On a floating.
On a massive floating city.
Right, but it's still localized. Like,
Is it like pontoons?
Yeah.
I imagine like massive concentric rings.
I mean, there's a bunch of pontoon. The thing is also like, there's an amount of stress, and like probably one of those stone pillars is heavier than most of the buildings that exist in the city.
Distribute the weight.
Because this is all of the city is made out of lightweight metals and very thin sheets
I got it.
and wood.
I got it. Yeah. So the second that starts happening, I feel such shift. I stone shape.
Like two of the gnomes are like, ah!
I stone shape them hollow. Like I just fucking scoop and throw for all four of the pillars. So they're basically just vertical dugout canoes now. So I've removed a huge chunk of their weight, and then I'm going to try and like bring them down, and like flip them out. I'm doing all this like I'm doing this like so like if this is the raft, like pillar, scoop them out, and then I'm gonna be
Okay.
push them out in the water.
All right. Yeah. So like, there's like you hear all this stress of the metal, and you know, and different things are bending and buckling under the weight, and you try to really quickly fix or ameliorate what you've done, and try to get them to tip out over the water. And the thing is, with them falling down, like the noses of them just like go under. Water sinks in. One of them sort of floats. Very like it's rocking, and just like little slips of water are like kind of going into the cavity.
Is it within reach of me?
It's starting to move out. It's starting to move away from the like those two gnomes are still like they're running to the door, trying to.
Yeah, because I imagine the platform now is kind of.
Oh, like there's bows and bends, and it's you've damaged the exploratorium.
How did I damage it? I thought it started to like tilt, right?
You explored it.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's what it's for.
I want to touch it. It's now a rock surface that's kind of floating. I want to touch it and basically make like this is my canoe, and I want to make like around it the kind of angled wall.
Thin it out and lift up the edges.
Yeah. So this is like the keel. What I put in the water is now the keel.
Could I put my hand on Mirok and try to stop him for a second?
Totally reasonable.
I'm just trying to stop Mirok before he does this.
So good.
If he lets me.
Cooking with lightning here.
Stone boy.
22.
Yeah. You made a stone boat?
I mean, stone boat!
He made a stone boat.
Yanni! There's
See,
better
George.
fishing out deep.
They're gonna be like, "What did you do?" And you're like,
Before we get in the boat, I would recommend you lose the armor, just in case some shit happens.
That's reasonable. Do you want to go out on the stone boat?
Let's go on a stone boat.
Hell
I
yeah.
also
Think it happened.
down to get on the stone.
Second you guys get on the stone boat, I kick it. I'm not getting on that fucking thing.
It's just us out there on the
Just
stone boat.
fishing.
Okay, well we're fishing on a boat now.
Fishing on a boat. This is the life.
Yeah,
Fishing on a stone boat.
I can make
No
like-
oars.
Well,
Mirok's gonna realize at some point that those things just disintegrate at a certain period of time.
Oh yeah, the
Maybe
keel
not
will
the most-
disintegrate. The
Yeah.
keel will disintegrate at
That's
some point.
that's
But I made a stone boat.
Yeah.
This is huge. The Dwarven Navy is going to be thrilled.
I can shadow evocation a trolling motor.
Yeah, or you can just have Yanni hang off the back and kick his feet.
Yeah.
Have fun out there, guys.
Yeah. No, this is great.
I
Great
never just get emotional watching you guys in the moonlight, just out there fishing.
Listen, dude. I'm emotional on the boat.
I think they last about an hour.
The pillars? Yeah, I think it's like
Keel.
per level. That's a long ass time. If we're operating up Bones of the Earth.
You're having a real fishing trip.
There.
Well, I think Bones of the Earth are permanent, but I wanted to put a limit on it because like you summoning that amount of stone into existence,
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff to fuck shit up.
Yeah, and but so the, and the trade off that is I can't dispel it.
And
It's just disintegrate.
You said this is
Where about?
you both adorned it.
All right, Dan, most important question of the night.
You good
Or
adorned
the
it.
fish biting.
No.
This just
Oh, the fish
pair of
fighting.
shorts and then the pair of shorts
Oh.
disintegrated.
I'd say
T-shirt.
make a
T-shirt.
No.
I guess it's a profession fish check. So fisherman, that would be a wisdom check.
Wisdom, here we go.
You're trying to be
Okay.
good. I'm not even gonna make a check. I'm just like
We're doing it! If you caught him, good.
All right, I'm burning another action die.
Fish.
Ooh, there we go. Can I burn my last action die as well? I really want to catch a fish.
Yeah, burn it,
You
dude.
do what
You're gonna get another turtle.
Oh boy, here we go. 19.
Crap.
It's a 23.
Some crappy that not crappy.
A 23.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you catch fish. Make a sense motive check.
Oh God. Okay.
One of them always was.
35.
Okay. Fish is really disappointed at, being caught. Like, you get a very empathetic sort of connection to
Right, because you're tripping.
its,
Yeah.
its
So-
pain and its discomfort and its existential dread as it's being removed from the water and into the air where it's suffocating.
So as I take the hook out of its lip and I bring Largo in and I say, look at this fish. We've expanded upon its knowledge of the world. We've shown it an entire new plane of existence, and it's terrified of what these gods in this realm can do to it. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna show it. We're gonna show it mercy, and we're gonna send him home. And then we put him back in the water.
All right.
Tripping balls over here, looking at
What
the
a
fish.
strange lesson.
It's great. Bort's just like nude, standing out in the water, looking at the lake and the trees.
This is pretty cool. I know those guys in that boat, by the way.
It's gonna be a weird thing for the gnomish authorities to find.
We haven't done anything.
It's true, we were exploring.
We were just gonna talk about drugs.
Yeah.
This isn't America. This is gnomes.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll stab it.
We made a stone boat.
This is aesthetic.
It is pretty cool. Like that's an exploratory thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go back to that bar. This was like, oh, like gnomes are better. I'm like, stone's better. Do anything with it.
It floats. You ever heard of pumice?
Yeah, I have to go. Yeah, we thought about that. So many pressure.
It is 10.
Oh, it is already. Wow, time flies when you're tripping
On
balls.
drugs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Done some real hijinks.
Well, we also didn't get started until like 7:15 when one of us showed up.
We tried.
Okay. So we're tripping. Is that where we're leaving it?
Yeah, I think we should leave it just as soon as the gnomes like roll up and they'd be like, what happened to the exploratorium? And then we can say like, we didn't realize like what.
Well, you guys didn't Mirok didn't destroy it, but there's like divots and bends and
We explored it.
We can help repair it, but it is a very cool thing that we made.
Yeah, I mean, we explored tensile strength.
They're separated into. So like one set is the light set is glittery, which goes in this one. And then the other set goes in. Not that one. That one. Glitter.
Plutonium. Chromium. Yeah. All shiny and chrome.
Witness me. We just watched that. I guess now.
I was kind of disappointed you guys didn't just blow up the bandits.
Yeah, we're getting better. We're getting
To
better.
be honest, we were like, we could do it, but that's not the most fun thing. Let's fuck with them.
Not the most fun thing. Let's go eat a bunch of psychedelic jam from
That was the most-
Largo's 150-year-old
No,
baby note.
It was the most important thing to do. Because Largo was like, this is phenomenal. I must share this.
Yeah, we all feel closer now.